Yeah, I was watching the news, and it seems that Mr. Blinken, the, the American, I don't know what he is. He works for State Department, or he has gone to Ukraine and had a photo op opportunity with Zelensky. There were three of them. I don't know who was the other guy, and they declared that this war will go on and we are winning. We are not losing, and everything's fine. And Zelensky asked him, please pay our civil servants their salaries, if they're still inside the Ukraine, or if they have run away to Poland or Germany, or they'll still get their money. I don't know how much that money would be worth inside Ukraine, or even outside. Nobody knows, and you know uh, the Americans who have made this mess, they're still going around and finding new friends, and what fine friends they find. In Muslim countries, they find Wahhabis, uh, Takfiris, ISIS. In Europe, they have found neo Nazis. In Israel, they have their friends, Zionist criminals. And, there is war everywhere in the world, and U.S. Keeps churning out all these weapons and ship them via planes. No more ships. We just need the first class. And well, recently, I mean, within the last month, Russia has shot down two planes full of ammunitions, manpads, all kinds of weapons. I don't think there is anybody that will get their hands on those weapons. Then there is other honest newscasters and journalists. They assess the situation, and many of them would say that the Ukrainian military and the Ukrainian government, as it existed, will cease to exist or function, and will become simply like a tribunal, with Zelensky and Blinken. They will make appearances and declare that they have won the war. And but what is also happening in other countries that the United States doesn't never pays attention to is that many countries like Iran, China, India, Russia, even countries in South America, they are making a conference to study what has taken place. As an example, the Indian emissary accused the United States of creating this war in Ukraine, and also fueling it. The place is going to become like another Syria, but how long would that last? I don't know. I don't think that will last very long, because the Russian military is taking over every place, and the only reason they are not rolling over the main cities, because they don't want to kill the population. They're leaving corridors for these guys to go out, or you know things to come back to normal once the new Nazis are gone. then uh, then the mess that the United States has created in many countries, in Syria, in Afghanistan, in Ukraine, in Libya, in Yemen, in Iraq, is like a world of war. There is a war going on in every country, and the United States, it comes around with truckloads of cash and weapons, and takes sides with somebody, the neo Nazis, the Wahhabis, the extreme whoever, and uses them to overthrow the government. And I think that the Indians are wisening up. They suddenly notice that, hey, we can't have this going on in our country. We are composed of 20 different mini races of people. We are under this civilization, the Indian civilization. We can't have all these weapons and all this cash. We're gonna be fighting each other to the last Indian. They're learning it. I mean, their learning curve for the Indians wasn't very steep, but with all the stuff that's happening in so many countries, they kind of wisening up and say, "Hey, we don't want this." And I think that helped the Indians see the light is the fact that every time the U.S. goes around sanctions another country, or starts another war, then the price of oil jacks up. It went to 120, was going to 130, and probably will be back up there again. Then such prices, they're like a shock wave through Indian and European countries. Well, India even worse because they have to pay in rupee, and they have a much lower standard of living than European countries. Their money doesn't go as far. They get kicked. They get kicked very hard. And well, India started buying oil from Russia, and many Iranian companies, they have wholeheartedly gone to Russia, help them circumvent the sanctions, sell them anything under the sun, from agricultural products to machinery to anti-aircraft missile systems, radars, well, maybe UFOs that can go to moon and come back. Well, thank you, Yankees, for all the sanctions. Well, I think the price of oil shock would be good for United States in some ways, because over here they had the fracking industry, which had gone dormant. But now that the price of oil is inching toward 120, then their high cost of oil production will be justified. Well, there's some kind of unintended consequences. Uh, well, we're gonna sit and look at where Mr. Blinken goes next. Who's gonna be on the list to become the new Syria, or maybe Finland, maybe maybe Sweden, Norwegia, all these countries. And it's amazing. Many of these countries, they want to turn fascist, or they're already fascist, but they haven't declared it. And even though every time the fascists come into political power, they make such a mess out of themselves and the world that somebody's gonna nuke them. Well, they don't learn. They don't take history lessons. Well, I think that all these beautiful Swedish and Norwegian and Finnish women, a lot of them are very blonde, very pretty. then they're gonna be grabbing their suitcases and going around the world, just like the Ukrainian friends. And then I gonna see a lot of them in the United States. I was in the USCIS website, and they had a special bulletin for all the Ukrainians and Afghanis, people who sold out their own country, and then they were overthrown, and now they're in the United States. They're running after food stamp and get their green card and maybe find a husband. Oh, but thank you, God. You're always so merciful and beneficent and gracious. You don't want your servants go without blondes. And I was watching the news that I think it was the Finnish or Swedish. I don't know. One of these guys. They were running in the streets. They were burning the Quran, and well, they do want their divine punishment. They're rushing around for it. Well, this is as much news about the evil empire. And oh, one last thing. I think that there will be a next series of wars will move to homeland United States. And we are in a modern world. We are not in the 1950s. Rockets and planes and drones, they can go this distance. An ocean is nothing to them. Thank you very much for being in my YouTube channel. Please subscribe and leave comment. Thanks.